Dark School presents Estimating Surds. If the nth root of a number cannot be simplified to a rational number, then we call it a surd. I mentioned about the nth root. What does that mean? Let's do a quick review on square root and cube root before we can talk about the nth root. The square root symbol looks like this. And if you write a number under the symbol over here, for example, let's say I write a 9 here that reads square root of 9, we are trying to find a number that multiplies with itself to give you 9. So then the square root of number is that number such that that number multiplied with the same number is 9. No prize in guessing this number is 3 because 3 times 3 is 9. Therefore, we say the square root of 9 is 3. In the same way, square root of 16 is 4 because 4 times 4 is 16. If we have the same symbol with a small 3 written here, and let's say we have 27 written down here under the root symbol, that reads as a cube root. Now a cube root of a number is that number that multiplies with itself 3 times. So we have a number that multiplies with itself 3 times. Remember, all the boxes have the same number in all 3 boxes, such that the answer to the multiplication is 27. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27. Therefore the cube root of 27 is 3. Now we are in a position to talk about the nth root of a number. Nth root, that number n can be anything. If it's a square root though, we do not write a 2 here, as in here. If you don't see a number, it indicates square root. Otherwise, you see a cube root, 3, or a 4th root, or a 5th root, or anything. So essentially, when you want to find the nth root of a number, we want to find the other number that multiplies with itself n number of times. Remember, this n is a number. So this multiplication goes on the same number with itself n times, so that the answer to the multiplication is the number that you see inside this under the root. For example, the 5th root of 32 is 2, and the reason for that is because if you multiply 2 with itself 5 times, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32. Reason why the 5th root of 32 is 2. Now it doesn't have to be that the square root or the cube root or the 5th root, or for that matter the nth root of a number, has to be a rational number like 3 or a 4 or a 3 or a 2 or whatever. Recall that rational numbers are numbers that can be expressed either as a fraction or their normal integers. For example, let's talk about the square root of 6. We want to find a number that multiplies with itself to give us 6. Is there any such number? Well, 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9. So it seems that nothing times itself is going to give us 6. Or shall I say, there's no integer number that fits into these boxes out here. No integer multiplies with itself to give you 6. Therefore, we say that square root of 6 is an irrational number, or a surd. Now it's important to remember that if the answer is not an integer, it doesn't necessarily have to be a surd. For example, if you think about the square root of the fraction 4 9ths, it's the same as square root of 4 divided with square root of 9, which is 2 over 3. So this is not a surd. Therefore, square root of 4 9ths is not a surd. 2/3 is a rational number. If we cannot find the nth root of a number, we can at least predict the 2 integers on the number line between which the root lies. For example, if we want to estimate the square root of 73, remember, I'm not writing a 2 here. It indicates a square root, which essentially means please find that number for me that multiplies with itself to give 73. If you're good with your multiplication tables, you probably realize that 8 doesn't work because 8 times 8 is 64. And 9 doesn't work because 9 times 9 is 81. This number 73, it's actually between 8 times 8 and 9 times 9. Therefore, the square root of 73 is more than 8 but less than 9. It's a decimal number between 8 and 9. Here's another example. We want to find the cube root of 29. This 3 indicates the cube root, which means please find that number for me that multiplies with itself to give 29. Can I put a 2 in this box? Well, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. Nope. Can I put a 3? 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27. Close, but not close enough. We need a 29 out of 27. How about 4? 4 times 4 is 16 and 16 times 4 is 64. That's way off. Therefore, because 29 is between 3 times 3 times 3 and 4 times 4 times 4, we can say that its cube root is between 3 and 4. That's how you could estimate surds even if you don't know the exact answer.